Welcome to Travel Tracker Routing. Today we're going to look at how to build a route on the tablet and process that into your Travel Tracker Routing software. The screen that you're seeing right now is my tablet screen, and we are currently on the Route Builder tab on the tablet. And this is where you'll want to be if you're going to be building routes. Now, before we get to building a route on a tablet, you will need to set up yourself or someone else as a tablet user, and we do have a video on how to do that. So now to build a route, I'm going to hit this plus button in the bottom right-hand corner, and it is going to ask me to name my route. So I'm going to go ahead and name this one Route 1. And then the next screen that pops up is going to be the trip name, and then we will select whether it's home to school, which would be an AM, or school to home, which would be a PM. So I'm just going to name this trip AM, and I'm going to make it a home to school trip because it is an AM. So we'll go ahead and click OK, and now your screen should look something like this. Now let's go over a few of these buttons that we're looking at. In this top left-hand corner is going to be a breakdown of your trip stops, or the stops that you create. Currently we don't have any made, so there are none in that list. And then we've got three buttons in the bottom left. So we've got the Scan Students button. Now you can use this to assign students as you're building the route, but you will need to have the QR codes printed out already for the specific students that are on this route, and you'll need to know what stops they're actually assigned to. The two main buttons that you'll be using are the Add Stop button. And when you click on that orange Add Stop button, that is going to create a stop wherever you are, and that time is going to be live. You can change it now, or we can change it after you've submitted your route into the routing software. In this case, I'm just going to hit OK, and I'm going to tap around on this map. Now, if you press and hold your finger anywhere on this map, it will also allow you to create a stop there. So I'm going to create a few just so that we can look at this in the routing system. So we'll just keep going and adding those stops, and you can see we've got this little red button that allows you to undo any stop creation if you've made a stop by accident, and it gives you 10 seconds to do that. Now let's say that we've gotten to the end of our route and we want to add a school stop. Now you'll want to add a school stop if you're ending your route at a school, and what this does is it specifically marks it as a school so that the system knows that these students are either going to be dropped off or picked up at this location. So it specifically designates it as a school stop. So we're going to go ahead and click this purple button, and you'll have the full list of schools that are in your Travel Tracker routing database. So we're going to select Wheatland Middle School in this case and just click OK. And you will want to do this when you are at the school because it will create that school stop wherever you are. So now if we go back into this top left-hand corner where we've got that trip stop list, we can see there are all the stops that I've added. And you can see that little blue trash can. That means that we can actually delete any of these stops if we didn't mean to make them. So I'm going to delete this very first one. And there we go. It's just that easy. And then in this bottom right-hand corner, we've got this blue dot with three horizontal lines. If we tap on that, you'll see we have three options here. We've got submit the route, add new trip, and delete this trip. Add new trip means that you're adding a new trip. Deleting this trip means that you are deleting what you just created. We are just going to click submit the route. And once you see this message that your route request has been submitted for review, we are going to go back into the Travel Tracker routing software. So we are now back in the Travel Tracker routing portal, whether you're on your desktop or a laptop, and we're going to look at that route request. So to view this request, we're going to go to this top right-hand corner, and we'll see this bright red number next to new route requests. So we're going to go ahead and click on that option. And in this Route Builder tab, you will see all of the routes that are currently pending approval. But before we approve that, let's look at the History tab for this really quick. So any routes that have previously been submitted and approved or denied, you can see the history of those on this History tab. So you can see the route name, what day and time it was requested, who submitted the route, the status of it, whether it was approved or declined, when it was approved or declined, and then who approved or declined that particular route request. Now let's go back and look at the one that is currently in the system. So to take a look at the details and approve or decline this request, we're going to click in this light gray bar pretty much anywhere you want to and take a look at it. The one thing that you definitely want to check for any route before you approve it is that this vehicle, is this going to be the correct vehicle for this route? In this case, I'm going to select bus 20. And so you can have your route name and your vehicle be two completely separate names. They are not tied together. You can have route AB on bus 20. You can have route 1 on bus 20. They do not have to match. So you have the flexibility to name your routes however your district needs to name them, but still assign them to the correct vehicle. So we are going to go ahead and approve this. Now, I would recommend not making any changes on this particular screen, even though you are able to, simply because it is a lot easier and a lot more user-friendly to make changes on the Routes tab once the route has already been approved and is available over there. There are a lot better tools and a lot more options for you to adjust the route exactly how you need it to be. So we're going to go ahead and approve this route request, and we will go look at it in the Routes tab. So let's go over to the routes, and I did assign this to bus 20. So it is going to be all the way down here at the bottom. We can see there's route 1. And if we open this up, we can see all of those stops, and from here we can make any changes that we need to. You can move the routes around, you can assign students, you can adjust the directions of the route. So that is how to build a route on the tablet and submit it into your travel tracker routing software. If you have any questions, please contact your implementation specialist or reach out to support@app-garden.com.